Well, still good morning, everybody. So, I don't know how you've got to put up with me again. Lee seems to talk me into this every single time I come here. And he gave me an exam question to kind of answer, and I didn't. So you'll find out through this that probably bears very little resemblance to the title, but at least it's not Alice in Wonderland or the Avengers like the last two. So it's probably a bit more normal. So I've now been at Pure Gym coming on just about 3 months from B&Q, as people knew me. A lot of people don't know Pure Gym, so I just want to go through a little very quick story of what we're doing. We're transforming the gym market in the UK. We are the first ever gym company to have over 1 million members. So we broke that barrier at the beginning of this year, and we're striving to push that forward. So we have 200 locations, and we're hoping to push that to 400 very, very shortly. It shows you people are concentrating on their health, and we have a massive part to play in that process moving forward. And it's shown by our revenues up 24% year on year as more and more people are joining gyms, and it's because of the accessibility of it. So let's go on to value. Our takeaway, true. So very, very simply, I went through parts of the dictionary, and Google was my best friend, and decided what is value. Because we can, before we start thinking about how we can add value, we have to understand what value really is. And value is so many different things to different people. You know, it is importance, it's how somebody benefits from something, it is the worth, and it is behaviours. As it says at the bottom, true value is hypothetical because we can never really judge what that answer would be. But what gets me most is we keep having the same question come up at lots of conferences, at lots of different areas about what value FM adds to the business. And part of me thinks that this goes back to the real old saying, which is probably about 5 years ago, which was trying to turn FM from a cost centre to a profit centre. Unfortunately, we cost businesses money because they have the buildings, they have the infrastructure, and that's what we help run. What we have to do is find the way to offer a solution that drives efficiency and benefit to the business. We can't change what we do, we can't change what we are, but we can add new things to it to make things more efficient and more effective. So when you look at value, who in this room truly believes that they don't add value? Put a little bit of a hands up within their business. Who truly believes they don't add value? Right, so everyone here believes that they're adding a value to their business. How many of you would say that your business believes that you add value? Put your hands up. So, okay. Now I question our part in this, and that's us as facilities managers and us as human beings. So we're going to go on in a minute to a video which really helps me understand what value is and how important it is when we're moving forward. But I'll also ask you the question, if business doesn't really understand our value, why is it that we are one of the only industries that are having jobs advertised for over £100,000 a year? They're only offering those salaries to people in this industry because business is starting to believe in the value that we add. I'm just not sure that we really truly believe the value we add and how we then communicate that to our business. So, go on to a quick video.
There are more than 7 billion people on this planet. Over 7 billion people that breathe, walk, and talk just like you do. Many with goals and objectives very similar to yours. Kind of overwhelming when you think about it. What makes you any different than everyone else? What makes your situation exceptional? The answer is value. We all have this unique ability to bring something different to the world, something valuable to offer. This exists with every single person on the planet. The question is, will you allow yourself to be that person? Are you brave enough to pursue your passion, to turn it into something meaningful? It's the pursuit of passion that will allow you to thrive. Where you thrive, you innovate, and where there's innovation, there's value. Not only for yourself, not only are you fulfilling your own aspirations, but you're providing a gift to the world. And the sad truth is, and this is no secret, it's that it's not uncommon for people to avoid doing what they're passionate about. Whether it's because their time is distributed out to a million other things in their lives, or even worse, because they've accepted that the pursuit simply isn't possible. Either way, to deliberately walk away from what drives you is to turn your back on something special. To reference my favorite analogy, it's to sit on a winning lottery ticket and refuse to cash it in. Just imagine if Michael Jordan spent less time with basketball, if Beethoven didn't focus on music. Imagine a world where Steve Jobs only devoted a fraction of his day to the creation of the Mac. Think what the world would be missing out on. But they didn't. They followed passion wholeheartedly. They pursued what they loved. They studied, they practiced, they improved, they went all in. And they each made something that the human race had never seen. There's a point in every person's life when a light bulb turns on. Maybe it's the realization that that commute back and forth to an unfulfilling job is a waste of time. Or that the hours spent hanging out with buddies could have been redirected to something else, improving a craft. There will come a time when you realize that your focus was not in the right place. That you let what you love fall to the wayside. Pull your head up, look around, and seek out what makes you feel alive. Question whether you're focusing on the right things. Are you following your passion in a way that adds value to your life, which will in turn add value to those around you? And value, it's such a simple concept. But like most simple concepts, it often gets overlooked. Businesses fail when value is disregarded. Relationships fall apart. Dreams aren't fulfilled when value leaves the forefront of people's lives. I'm all for simplicity. When it's very simple. Go all in on the things that bring value to your life. Eliminate the things that don't. You'll see that everything will change. You'll develop a sense of identity, an undescribable joy. The question is, are you allowing yourself to evolve into the person you were meant to be? Or are you watching the best part of life pass you by? Waiting for another time to do what you were put on this planet to do. Get what's yours. Let your talents change the world.
So, for me, the words in that video, more than necessarily the graphics, mean an awful lot in what we do every day. I've now probably watched it about 15 times, and it kind of just sits there and resonates because I think it's something to do with us. I don't think it's something now to do with the way businesses perceive us. I don't think it's the way that the job and the industry that FM has created. I think some of us have got to start believing in what we do and actually showing our passion to the world and what we're trying to achieve. And it was really, really interesting. So I remember doing this a few years ago, looking at what some of the leading FM areas and governing bodies thought about FM. And it's changed quite a lot. But what is really interesting is they're closer together than they've ever been before. So our communication from the big three is closer in words than it's ever been before. And that's really, really important. We are streamlining the message that we're sending out to the world about what FM is. If you can remember, and I'll go back to that 5 years ago, looking at this, facilities management meant operational maintenance and security of a facility. That's what FM was. That's what we projected to the world about only 5 years ago. And this is a massive difference to that, and they're aligned. So, who feels that they're working in this world, or who feels they're working in the old world? So, again, quick raise of hands, who feels that they're working in the maintenance world? Who feels that they're working in this world? So my question is, why don't you believe that your business believes in the value that you're bringing to them? Because it's certainly not in what you're doing. It's certainly not in what you're trying to portray. So sometimes you have to look at the reasons why your business doesn't believe in the value and what value is it they're trying to drive. Because if we go right back to the beginning, value is different in every single organisation and will be with every single person a very different thing. So, because I'm now at Pure Gym, I had to use a human body, didn't I? You know, all about fitness, all about well-being. But I'm not going to go through it all. There's little bits missing off here. It's a very simplistic view of a business. But you know, I go back to that whole point where facilities management should be on the board and everything else, and I've always challenged whether facilities management is a board level function, is a director level function. Should it be a board? I don't know. But it certainly strategic direction of a business, that's where it's led from. Finance, obviously we know what finance is. It makes the best use of our money. It makes best use of the finances that the business has. Human resources is around getting the best out of people. Sales and marketing, I put them as legs because they're two strength pillars. No business really moves forward without having those two aligned. So where does FM sit in this? And where is your engagement with your wider business? You know, if you're working in the old world, it's certainly not in the middle of this. And if you're working in the new world, it is in the middle. It's about helping everybody else achieve what it is they need to achieve. It is about bringing the plans together. It's about giving them life. It's about using the great thing about most FMers is their logical brain. And there's an A, B, and a C, and there's a process to follow. There's a procedure you can get through, and you can change things. You know, and it is about adding. Someone has a dream. Someone has a vision. I believe we're the people that can sometimes take that and turn it into a reality. It doesn't matter what it is. And that is adding value to every single one of those departments. So when was the last time somebody in here sat down with their finance team and talked about what their aspiration was, rather than just budgets and how much we're going to spend? So hands up if you've sat down with the FD of your business and spoken to them around their dreams and aspirations for their department. So very few people. So, and it's great, by the way, that there are people that are doing it, because I think it's key. You know, so when I move on to possibly delving into a bit of an old world thinking of value, I always think, how can you bring the positive to the negative? Yeah. So business comes up to you and says, I need to save money on my offices. So let's be honest, this picture made me realise I need to weed as well. So that's quite important and planned for this weekend. But that was me. I sat there, I did this presentation at the desk, at home, in the garden, enjoyed the sunshine. Had I travelled to London, that would have cost £82 to catch the train. Unfortunately, because we're in a very expensive part of central London and a very small office with very high costs associated with being in there, that desk space that I have costs £3,750 a day to have sat there. That's quite scary, isn't it? And then my 3 hours travelling, so an hour and a half there, an hour and a half back, costs £150. It was the hottest day of the year, so obviously I took full advantage, so this video can't go out on the internet, but I worked from home. But my feelings, had I gone to work, would have been I'd have been really hot, really, really tired, sitting on tube. By the time I got to office, we talked about that journey earlier, didn't we, of how people get to the office. When I got to the office, my productivity would have just dropped off. What did I do? Woke up, saw my children. Even though it says it's seeming my children, I've just noticed that. I did this presentation. I did a couple of CapEx presentations for work, which I'll show the importance of later. I enjoyed a bit of the sunshine. I cleared my emails. I did a load of things I just would not have got done in the office that day. I had dinner with my family. I put my kids to bed. I had a really, really good day. I loved my job that day. I sat there and I got loads done. I managed to speak to my team. It was brilliant. Had I gone into the office, it'd have cost the business £4,000 for me to have been probably a little bit moody and unengaged and everything else. Now, I'm not saying that this is the case for every single job role, but it's about opening that opportunity up. It's about that flexibility in working place. There is nothing that we can't do sat in the garden with a telephone next to you and that computer. You know, I can speak to my team, I can Facebook my team, I can do everything I want to from there. You know, what's stopping our businesses trying to do this? And I know there is a lot against this, and it's trust. But actually, you know, technology's there. Presenteeism, should I say, is one of the key drivers that the first person in the office, the last person to leave. My passion is to make sure that my time is spent with my family when I can spend it. My passion is to make sure that my team get to spend time with their family when they can, because we work really, really hard at what we do every day. But that when there is opportunities to do something different, the business should be able to flex and change. And actually by doing that, it saves money. So we go back to the video. What is the passion? What is it you want to drive through your business? What is it that you think that is going to add that value to the business you're in? And then does that align with your passion? If it doesn't, it's going to be really hard for you to go through and deliver. But my passion, I love all this stuff. Take away air quality. What was the air quality sat in my garden? Probably a lot better than it'd ever be in an office. Yeah. Do I need all of that expense of running all of these offices when I can condense them down and make great collaboration space? I can engagement space. If I want to hold a project meeting, a team meeting, we can all get together. We can still go to a home that meets all our needs, but we don't need 20 of them. We can work agile, we can work anywhere, and we should believe that we can do it, but also have a home. And then the cost of that home is a lot less than having 20. So you can put all this technology into it, you can put all your efforts into it and make that one fabulous place to work. So what passion is it that you're driving into your business? Let's be honest, reduction cost of maintenance. It comes every single year, and it comes in, and do you know why? Because it should do. Technology is going so fast that even if you don't use a CAFM system to its full capability, you use it as a job logging tool as an example. You start using it properly, you're saving 8 to 20% easily. You know, you start monitoring equipment to get predictive failures. You know, it's something that we're looking to do at PureGym on our boiler systems, is understand when they start moving outside their parameters or the hot water drops off, because that affects our customers. You don't need to do it everywhere. You need to do it in the places that really, really affect what you do. So when you've decided what your passion is, and these are just examples, you know, why should a business not ask you to reduce cost when technology is increasing? You know, predictive maintenance should be able to reduce the cost, the labour, lost time, safety. What happens when someone says we should reduce cost? We cut services, we cut tasks. Actually, we don't use the technology advancement that we can use to get that cost down. And actually, we don't build the plan ahead of time. So we never answer that exam question before the exam question comes. And we should be answering that exam question. It is, you know, at the end of the year, what's changed? What can we do better? Now here's the budget I need. And it is a reduction on last year because we've got more efficient. We understand the business more. It's all there in our gift to be able to do. But plans from agile working through to maintenance, through to anything else that you want to look at. You know, what is the plan? How are you delivering that to the business before the business are asking you the question? And then, as we go back to what is the focus? as an example, this is something that's really, really key with Pure Gym, is retention. Our retention of people that join our gyms is absolutely the focus of our business. It is the cheapest way to get new members. Because if you look at this stat, if we keep 1% more, we can have £1 million. We've not had to go out and market for those people. We've not had to go and find them. They're there. They're already there. We just have to keep them. You know, interestingly enough, if we take the cost, and yes, Pure Gym, on average, will only cost you £4.61 a week. A little bit of marketing in there for you. Is 21 new members per week. It's it's hard to get 21 new people to come through your front door. But with a real focus on retention and what it is and why your customers are having that problem or why they would want to leave or anything else, you know, it makes such a massive increase to the bottom line. You know, what is the focus of the business? So what is your focus? So I'm key that we are looking at retention. You know, so my plan is around allowing our team to expand its working environment so they're not all basically stuck in an office. And then I'm looking at retention. So actually my maintenance plan is built around this, because what is it that I need to focus on? And it is only really 4 or 5 things that customers will leave for. Someone said to me, and I don't know how true it is, that people that go to the gym have a maximum of an 18-month attention span before you need to start changing it around and moving equipment, because otherwise they get bored. And you know, the style changes. So free weights is massively in at the moment, where again, go back to about 5 years ago, you wouldn't have anybody in a free weights area except for people silly enough to do Tough Mudder, which isn't me. So how do we deliver value? You know, so we've answered what value is. It means a lot of things to a lot of different people, but you've got to find the one that resonates with you, your business. You know, you've got to find your passion, because if you don't have passion, there's nothing there for you to go for. And once you've found the passion, what does it mean? Build your plan. Build your plan for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Make sure that you build it ahead of what your business asks you to do. Be at the forefront of that plan, and you have to do that through engaging every single section of your business. You have to be in the heart of what you do. Someone once said to me, don't be the person they come to in a crisis, be the person they come to for advice before the crisis happens. You know, that's where you've got to position yourself. It's really simple, but that is exactly where it is. So build your plan and then focus on it. Make sure that you've got that laser focus on what it is you're trying to achieve from it, and go and get it. Because, and I love this quote, you know, when you decide, and I won't use it as much, but when you decide to leave a business, as an FMer, the business should be crying that you're leaving because of so much value you've added to their day and the people that are in it. So I have that quote, and I just think, you know, if you live to that belief, it's amazing what you'll change. And open to, obviously, any questions around. As I said, I didn't answer the exam question. I went completely off piste as usual. But any questions?
Can I start with a question then? Okay. So you talked about old world and new world, Adam, and I think that's really relevant. But I think the people in this room are a new world. So my question to you is, how do we reach the people who aren't there yet? Because they don't come to events like this, do they? So how do we reach out to those people?
So it's an interesting one because it's difficult, isn't it? We have to somehow get those people into a mindset. So we have a lot of conferences and I see a lot of the same people and we answer the same questions. But I guess the facility show is one that you could use as a platform of actual teaching and learning and engagement. You know, it's very difficult to find, I would say, a school or an academic site that you can send people to and expand their thinking. The team I've joined are very much in that maintenance process at the moment. And my job is to open their eyes to what FM really is and the expanse it covers. I'm doing that because I'm working with them every day. I don't think there's a simple answer to it. in all honesty.
Other questions for Adam? Comments?
Love your slide. One of the body elements to use. Because we are the heart of the organisation many times. Everything comes to us. All departments use our services, so we're holding the whole thing together at times. It's a really Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Adam.